So these are the Hoosier DR2 drag radials. We got some 245 45-17 drag radials mounted on some stock EVO 8 wheels. And of course, I want to test fit them. They should fit just fine, but I want to test fit them before I just show up to the drag strip with them to try them out. All right, I just have to say it looks pretty badass with those wheels on there. I don't know, I'm a little bit of a sucker for the white lettering, I guess, but they look pretty cool. So I just did a test fit. I found my local closed course to test these tires on. I wanted to test them out before I went to the drag strip. So now I need to take them off, make sure they weren't rubbing anywhere. There were really no signs of that, but I need to take them off either way to put the street tires back on. So I'm gonna do that now. I also started wiring up my Nitrous Purge. I got the wire just ran down in there. So I got to wire up the purge and run a line to vent the purge somewhere else as well. So I got to do that yet, but the drag radials have been test fit. So now I'm going to take them off. All right, so we finished up our test fit with the tires. I put the Falcon street tires back on. I also have my Nitrous Purge set up now. This little line right there is the Nitrous Purge. So now I'm just gonna walk through what I all need to remember to do if I actually do want to run nitrous on this. So of course, first thing is I'd have to open up the bottle. So pop our trunk. You'll hear the bottle open up basically. So I'd open up the bottle, and then I gotta switch my tune. Most of you EVO people probably know how. Well, there's different ways to do it, but mine is just when you hold the throttle down with the key in the on position. So I turn the key on, and then I will hold the throttle down for like 3 seconds, I believe, and it's gonna switch tunes. So 1, 2, 3, there we go, you can see it blink. And then what also happened, and what I like that Andy set up, is I'm the kind of guy that wants to make sure I did what I wanted to do. And a way to do that is this windshield wiper sprayer thing, this green blinky light. That's me saying, you're on the nitrous tune, buddy. Don't do anything too stupid. So that's how I know I switched tunes. So now it's on the nitrous tune. And then you can ignore this hole I screwed up on. Yeah, I screw up a lot too. This was supposed to be for a switch, and then I moved it. But now what we do is we have our nitrous arming switch, so this turns it on. Of course, there's a light. It'll only come on when the key is on. So now the nitrous is on. And now that activates this RPM and throttle switch that I have, again, basically behind me here, mounted in the car. And then from 4,000 to 6,000 RPM ish is when it will actually spray. But then otherwise, this is my purge. So purges are fun, and we'll see if it takes a little bit to purge anything. Let's see. It was just air, nitrous. There you go. So there you go. Now the system's been purged, the system is armed, and it's all set. One thing I need to actually try to do differently when I do drag race this is I know there's different ways I probably could have set this up, but we just were kind of crunched on time when we set this up. I don't want to be spraying nitrous when I'm actually stutter boxing in first gear. So the plan is, technically, for me to try to launch it, pull back to second, and then turn on nitrous so I have it for second, third, and fourth gear. It's a plan. It's probably not the best plan, but that's the way it's set up right now. We will try that someday, hopefully, when I get to the drag strip. It's just a matter of time before I get there with the nitrous and the slicks. Okay, I didn't want to waste the nitrous because it's expensive, so I just purged out. I closed the bottle, and then you just saw it purge out. So this is the line, nothing fancy looking, of course. I ran it a bit longer than they give you a piece that's only like this long. which would not have made it out my hood. So I got some brake line and ran it this way. I needed to put this in, this bracket to hold it, because initially it would spin around. It's so much pressure, it would try to spin around. When I hit it, so I put this little bracket in to hold it in place, and it seems to be okay. So that's the purge solenoid for the nitrous solenoid. So it's just a solenoid to a solenoid, but this just makes sure that it clears out all the nitrous that is coming up through this line here. Oh no, I'm sorry. This line here. This is the nitrous in from the bottle, and then the nitrous out goes into the intake. So when you're purging it, you're just getting all the excess air out of this line that goes from the bottle to this nitrous solenoid. And just to clarify, I misspoke earlier when I talked about changing the tune. The light on the dash is for the intercooler sprayer, so you guys probably never really see that light very often. But either way, not a windshield wiper sprayer, intercooler sprayer, but I like to know that my tune is switched, and that way I know when that light's blinking that it's switched. Also, when you do switch tunes, of course, the blinking speed of your service engine soon light is what also lets you know what tune you're on. So it has a slow blink and a fast blink. So in my case, the fast blink is the fast tune, so the nitrous tune, and the slow blink is the regular tune that I drive around on normally. So that's most of what I got for this video. I guess I did want to talk though about a little bit about difference between like a race car and just a fast street car, because I feel like we, especially with EVOs, you always find this line or push the line between a fun fast street car and a race car. I do kind of feel like nitrous and drag slicks put me more into the race car category. And I don't know if I like that. I want a street car more than anything. But again, I think I mentioned this in at least the comments of some of my videos. This can be more temporary. I don't need to spray nitrous, of course, other than when I'm at the drag strip. I don't need the wheels on, so they're all kind of easily reversible. At least easier in the context of it's easier to take off nitrous or just not use it than it is to try to switch turbos back if I put a really big turbo on or something like that. And as much as I talk about taking this to the drag strip, I honestly don't have, it doesn't time out well in my schedule with my daughter and everything else going on in life, since this is not a huge priority for me to get to the drag strip. But of course I do want to get there. It's just I don't see a good time yet to actually make it. This previous, just yesterday was a day that would have worked for me, but the drag strip didn't have the drag racing for some reason. It would have got rained out anyway. Honestly, we got so much rain recently. But I do want to get there, but I will say I'm of course a little scared. I do like scared in the way that I feel like it's going to break something because, you know, anytime you get more grip, you know, it seems like you're more likely to break stuff. Plus nitrous itself is, you know, it is what it is. So I'm hopeful that I could just go once or twice and run a good time, like run a good run, be happy with the way I drove the car, and get my low 11-second quarter, something. We'll see. And if I'm being honest, drag racing's not that much fun for me at a drag strip. I don't know. I just go because I want to know what the car can do. I know it takes driver skill. Like, you got to be a good driver still to pull it off, but I don't know. I don't get a lot of enjoyment out of fine-tuning my perfect launch and stuff like that. And not to take away from people that do. People that love drag racing, obviously in the EVO community, it's huge. So people love the drag race. I get it. It's just not entirely my thing where I want to dedicate a whole bunch of time to doing it, honestly. I just kind of want to be able to know what the car can do, which also makes me think a little bit about how funny it is in some ways to see different people's perspectives when it comes to car people versus maybe like driving people. It's interesting. I feel like I grew up as a car person, so it's like, what can the car do? What can you build to make the car do? Not so much how well of a driver are you? How good can you refine your skills at being a driver? And it's one of the good things I feel like that has developed from me hanging out with other people that are maybe more drivers than car people, or at least listening to them a bit more. Shout out to like the Lizard Brains podcast. If you listen to podcasts, that's like more of a driver's podcast. If you listen to them, you know what I'm talking about. It's about the drivers, not about the cars. It's like, they're not car guys, which is funny to me because like I used to think, how could you not be a car guy if you're into racing? But you know, that was me forever ago, and it does make more sense that people can just want to be good drivers and not necessarily really enjoy building a car or maintaining a car, or taking, you know, they don't necessarily take pride in what they built. They take pride in how they know how to drive, and that's cool. That's just a different way of looking at it. But anyway, I probably rambled on a bit too long at the end here, but you guys seem to appreciate the quick EVO update videos, so I'm trying to do it more. Hopefully you guys like it. If you do like it, of course, do the like, comment, all that subscribe stuff, because it does help motivate me to do more of these simple videos where I'm not really covering much other than updating what I've done to this EVO, or my silver EVO, or the new red EVO shell that I got. So, as always, this is Paul from Boosted Films, saying thanks so much for watching. I just want to say that domestic violence is never okay. If you or someone you know is experiencing issues with a partner and doesn't feel safe, please visit the website thehotline.org or call 1-800-799-SAFE.